When your old career gives you lemons, throw in some ice, mix in some vodka, and call it a podcast. From the Mac of All Trades studio in Fairport, and driven by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's Billified, the Bill Moran Podcast.
Somebody buy me another bottle of vodka. Life is coming out hard. Hard, I'm telling you. Yeah, make it to a nice cocktail. I got to tell you something. I technically own a kayak. In theory, I own a kayak. Because in reality, the kayak is living its best life somewhere with people I don't know. And I'm debating, do I go knock on a stranger's door and say, hey, man, weird question. You got my boat? Because a couple of years ago, I bought a kayak, and you're going to see like a pattern emerge, right? I thought I had a place to put it, but I didn't exactly have a place to put it. So I'm starting out strong, right? And I got a bigger kayak than I expected and whatever, or originally planned to. So I tried to get into, sorry, I just wanted to check the monitor. Tried to get it into the basement of where I was living in, and it wouldn't fit, right? So I was having all kinds of problems. It feels very symbolic of a lot of my decisions. Just, look good. Oh, we got an obstacle, right? So, very dear, close friend, I like to consider family, says to me, hey, man, leave it at my place. And I thought, perfect, right? Because it was going to be in this freestanding building, back corner of his property. I could come and get it. I would pop it in the canal. I take it down to the Finger Lakes. I went down to the Hudson River with my mom, all that kind of stuff. Well, then he and his wife separate. And I'm like, I don't think this is the moment to be like, hey, man, I know you got a lot going on and everything's falling apart, but can I grab my kayak? So I never did that. I did what any emotionally intelligent, mature adult does. Nothing. I did nothing. So time passes. Separation turns into a divorce. Eventually, his ex, and I didn't want to really even go over there then. You know what I mean? I think I did once or twice, but it just felt uncomfortable, and I didn't really have a place that I could put the kayak even when I had moved. Right now, I have a place that I will put the kayak, but I didn't at the time. So all of a sudden the house goes up for sale. Now I'm standing back watching this unfold like a Netflix series I'm not ready to emotionally commit to. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to sit down and watch this. And now new people live in the house. So here's where I'm at in my head. And you have to remember with me, like, I get uncomfortable like every human being does. We all get uncomfortable in certain situations. But if I can find a comedic spin on it, I'm more apt to do something. If I think that there's something that, a lot of times I'll think, oh, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to go there. I don't want to be at that, whatever, name it, event, concert, party, whatever. And then I'll think, but there could be a damn good story that comes out of this. Because out of any situation, what do we have? A story, right? Even if it's shitty and dull. And I have a gift. I noticed a lot of stuff. So in a lot of those situations, that's where I'm at. And I thought the comedic thing in this would be if I put a microphone somewhere on my person and I recorded the conversation as I go up to the door. Hey, this is going to sound a little insane, but I believe you may be in possession of my watercraft. It sounds fancier than a kayak. So here's my question to you. What would you do? Seriously, if someone came up and knocked on your door and said, hey, I left a kayak here 3 years ago. Can I grab it? What would you do? Would you call the cops? Or would you be like, you know what? Respect, dude. Absolutely. I know exactly what you're talking about. Go get your boat. I don't know. And there's something about it that's so Vince Vaughn movie-esque, just kind of a crappy write-off movie, that it would be funny to see, like, how would somebody react to that? And that's the thing that makes me think about it. Call me at 585-206-8866 and tell me, should I go? Should I tape it? You can even email Bill at Bill Moran Productions. That's with an S.com, Bill Moran Productions, Bill at BillMoranProductions.com. I'm just curious as to what people will do. But this is where my head, to me, it gets interesting, because this whole thing made me think about something that's way, way bigger. And that is, why do we hold on to things in our heads, but we never actually go get them? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, we have an idea in our head or something, and we hold on to it, and then we change the story about it, or the story becomes greater later, or all kinds of things. Because right now, everywhere you look, you go on TikTok, you go on Instagram, there's gurus in a linen outfit telling you to manifest it, call it in, align your energy. Cool, but my kayak didn't manifest its way back to me, did it? No, it did not. It's still, I don't know where. I'm thinking that it's still where I had left it. And I would be somebody who would be, I think the term they call is woo-woo on some of this stuff. And I do think that there is a thing of manifestation, but I don't, not in the idea that it's going to be some kind of magic and poof, there it is. I think that there is a truth to this stuff that a lot of us don't want to hear. You don't manifest what you want. I believe you manifest what your patterns produce, right? And by that, I mean, people think manifestation is like magic, right? Boom. I think a lot of times, someone once told me that the old stories of the 3 wishes with the genie, you have that in life, right? You can do the same thing in your life because the universe is always there and supporting. I agree with all that stuff, but people think manifestation is magic, and I'm saying it's not. It follows a very scientific, almost physics, when you think about it, physics way of coming about. Attention, which would be your thoughts, which dictate the decisions you make. Your thoughts dictate your decisions, and those dictate the actions you take. You establish patterns, and therefore you get results. That would be the manifestation of what you want. And a lot of times you'll hear people say, well, you're blocking it, you're not letting it in. And they're not wrong. They're not wrong in that. But the formula I gave you, attention, decisions, actions, patterns, results, that's it. It's not sexy. But here's the difference. That works every single time. And you can probably point to a time in your own life where you did exactly that, and it worked out. You got what you wanted, right? You want to lose 40 pounds? You don't sit there visualizing abs. You stop eating like an asshole consistently, right? I mean, that's just what it is. And I'm not saying the visualization is necessarily a bad thing. I think that the visualization can show you, okay, how would the person with the abs act? You start acting that way, that changes your actions and your patterns, and you get the results. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that's it. So the visualization, I do believe can help, but where I do think people get it right is state. Okay? Because bear with me now. Okay. The state of being right now. All you have in life is right now. That's it. Okay. Anything that you're anxious about is in the future. Anything you regret is in the past. But calm you in the moment right now, a calm version of you makes a completely different decision than an anxious version of you. Ever notice that? Same opportunity. One version of you is like, let's go, right? Because you're focused on it. You're going to make something happen. You're excited. You go with energy. Sure, there may be obstacles. Yes, life may get in the way with things, but you stay focused on that. You believe it can happen, and it does. The other version is, what if I ruin everything forever? And there you go. I've said on this podcast many times, and I had a debate with my late father over whether or not Jesus actually said this, but I always say, go forth and tell no one. I feel like that's how it was even phrased in the Bible when I was a kid. Well, the point was, or the way I remember it, was, here comes Dan, and he's got leprosy and his ear just fell off, but he's holding his ear. He comes up to Jesus. Jesus says, okay, I'm going to heal you. Puts the ear back on. He says, you're healed. You no longer have leprosy. You're fine, but go forth and tell no one. Dan goes back to the village. He's excited. He comes skipping in. He's like, hey, everybody, look at me. My ear's back. All right. And then here comes Brother Bill and his dickhead Kevin. And they look at Dan and go, yeah, sure, it's back. Do you use some mud from the river and put that thing on there? That's not going to last. And it puts doubt back in your mind. So what I'm telling you is your thoughts are the most powerful thing that you have. And they do have energy. There's a great song by Willie Nelson. Your thoughts are energy. Be careful of what you think. Your thoughts are energy. And that's why I bring up the two versions of yourself, the calm and the anxious, and the different decisions you make in each state. It could be the same opportunity, different outcomes. Why? Because you were almost two different people in those things. You made different decisions. You've made knee-jerk reactions. And I have often said on here, life never stops coming at you. You're going to have things where you're going to make knee-jerk decisions, and they're not going to be the right one. So sometimes if you can stay calm and step back, and if you can visualize the person you want to be and go, how would that person act in this situation, changes your decisions, changes, right? Because now your thoughts changed. Well, I want to act like this version of me. And that changes your decisions. You start making patterns and you get what you want. But it's consistency. It's boring. It can suck. Like there's no real magic to it. You just have to do the same thing over and over. Discipline is just simply putting the thing you want most first. Really. Energy isn't magic. It's truly a state. It's a state of being. And I think that's something that, when I hear these gurus and things in their linen, and they're not, I don't think anybody's trying to steer you wrong. I think that a lot of people feel like life is hard. How do we make it better? Well, life's lived in your head. And I have said this all along. There is no meaning to anything in this world. In this 3D, some people say simulation, whatever, there's no meaning other than the meaning you apply to it. What's the meaning of life? Whatever you believe it to be. The universe loves you so unconditionally that whatever you believe, it will happen. Nothing works out for me. I never have any money. My boss is a dick. Boom. Guess what? There you go. Or I love what I do. I'm glad to be alive. Great things are happening. Money's coming in. And all of a sudden, like, well, how do you manifest? It's all through your thoughts. And that's the part that I get somewhat frustrated with when I see these gurus and things, because they go, hey, let's manifest it. Well, I want my kayak back and I'm not sure what to do. You don't manifest by thinking. You manifest by becoming the person who would naturally get that result. So back to the visualization. I'm visualizing abs. What kind of person gets the results of abs? And then go do that. It's not going to happen without action. Although when I was a kid, I just thought of this. There was a kid I went to school with. His name was Robert Egan. I think we called him Robert. He was like a fat, kind of freckly, redheaded kid. He would try to be mean to people, but you could just see that he was just kind of a pussy. He had an older brother too. I think, thank God, they were kind of dicks. And I think I used to probably antagonize this kid. But his mom opened a gym. Does anybody remember this in the 80s? It was simply like belts. Right? Like you would strap yourself to a machine and the machine would shake you. So you weren't doing anything other than getting vibrated. Remember what was the shake thing they had? Yeah, whatever was doing but this was a real thing. Well, how's that going to work? I think the gym closed within a week, and it was some shitty old fucking equipment. It looked like you were held in by a hammock. It was like, you know what I'm saying? I just remember thinking as a kid, I'm going, this is the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard, because you can't get it that way. It's not, you know what I mean? I'm just going to sit here and let this vibrate me. If that were the case, everybody would be going to Niagara Falls in one of those shitty beds with a fan full of quarters going, fuck GLP-1s, baby. Shake the fat off me. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Here's what works. Doing the uncomfortable thing. Being the person who actually makes time to have the conversation that is uncomfortable. It's the person who's showing up even when they don't feel like it for whatever reason. It could be, I mean, an easy one to say is the gym, right? Early mornings at the gym. But it could be anything. It could be the person doesn't want to show up to the family reunion, but you start showing up and good things happen, and you listen and you take a little pause, and you can have a better life. It just has to be up here, right? Everything you need in this world, like we don't truck things in from other planets, other universes. I keep hearing that we're going to have contact with aliens. Maybe, I don't know. But I know that everything we need to actually live is right here. We're not trucking it in from anywhere else. I didn't get up and turn on the sun and pull a cord and make sure the earth is still spinning. There's a lot going on that is out of our control, right? So even if you're not a person who believes in God, and maybe you get uncomfortable with the idea of source, you know, that thing, just simply this, either way, it's like, let go of the things that you can't really control and focus on what you can control. Because when we start thinking about things, and how about this? How many times have you thought of something or thought of someone or an argument that never happened, and you fight it in your head? And what did you do? You burned a bunch of fucking calories, made yourself miserable, pissed off a few people in your own home because you were ignoring them or snapping at them because you're mad about something that didn't even happen. And that's all in your head. Thoughts. And what did you do? You manifested a shitty night. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Manifestation without action. Okay? Think about this for a second. I appreciate you sticking with me this far, because I thought I was going to lose some people along the way. Manifestation without action is just adult make-believe with better lighting. That's all it is. It's adult make-believe with better lighting, because you can visualize something and then think of the version of you that has that. Say it's a car you've wanted, a luxury car, or the job you've wanted, or the home you've wanted. How does that person act? What do they sound like? How do they dress? Who's in their life? Who's most influential? What do they put first? All of that. Everything. You can have a better everything just off your head. But when you go anxious, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough this, you keep getting that because you're pushing against it, pushing against it. I think one of the greatest examples that I can think of, like in the world, the war on drugs, it's never going to go away because we're pushing against. I'm not saying accept it, hand out me. I got it. What I am saying is try to relax a little bit. Ground yourself, right? Take a moment and ground yourself. And I'm not saying like, you know, take away the TV remote or your phone, stop scrolling. You're grounded. No, I'm saying take a breath. Feel where you are. Notice 3 things around you. You're safe. You're okay. Whatever is in your head is not affecting this moment right now. And then get up and do one small action. Clean a dish. I don't know. Make your bed. Something. And little by little, it gets better and better because you're building momentum and it's headed in the right direction. But you have to do that consistently. Can't be just today. Can't be just this moment. It has to be that. So when the gurus are telling you about manifestation, I think what they're really telling you is you have to change your thoughts. Your thoughts will change your actions. Your actions will change your patterns. You have to do things consistently, and then you're going to get the result. And I think that's it. So if you're sitting there thinking, why isn't my life changing? It's not because the universe said no. It's because somewhere you're not moving. Whatever that is, you're not moving. That's how you get it. So for me, the question isn't how do I manifest what I want? The question is, what the hell am I avoiding that I know I should be doing? And I'll tell you something else where these gurus kind of get it right. Get very clear on what you want. You can't say a better life because your mind can't picture that. Focus on one area. Better job. Okay? Better organization. Like yourself. Better relationships. Could be with a parent, child, friend, spouse, love interest, whatever. How would the person who has the better relationship act? What would they do? How would they think? And do that and stop letting the sideways thoughts in. Stop letting the asshole who's going to tell you, that ear's going to fall off in a day. Don't even worry about it. That's what I'm saying. Right? Because you can manifest things, but not the way I think some of these gurus tell you. You have the formula now. You know what to do. You know what to do inherently in yourself. I've never been, I always think like follow your gut is the best advice anybody could give you because intuitively you know. But manifestation without action is just adult fantasy. That's all it is. It's make-believe. So you got to go back and you got to think, attention, what am I focused on? What am I thinking about? How is that impacting my decisions? Am I in a calm state, anxious state? What kind of shitty decision am I going to make? Or am I going to make a great decision? And from there, the actions that follow that. You ever notice, like, you ever hear people go, man, I'm in the zone today. Woo, I'm flowing. I'm closing deals. I'm doing this or whatever's happening. Why? Because they believe it. It's momentum. It's positivity. They feel excited about it. They take another step. And it all kind of works out. Or the person who goes, I knew that was going to happen. I knew we were going to fucking close that deal. Been working on it for 6 months. Fucking guys. Well, there you go. That's it. Business is going to fold. I got no money. I got my kid who's going to be going to college, and I got my ex-wife who's up my ass who wants her payment. What the fuck do you think's going to happen? What action are you going to take? What action are you going to feel like taking? When you're in that state, you don't feel like doing anything. You want a big bag of shitty food, some alcohol, and your couch, and maybe the remote for Netflix. I don't know. But do you understand what I'm saying? That's all it is. That's what it is. So when the gurus tell you whatever they're telling you, is there a kernel of truth to it? Probably. Is it energy? Sure. You can walk in a room and feel people's energy. But you can also feel when it's good. And you like to be around the people that have the good energy. And they're the ones that have good things that are happening to them. And you want to know why. Because they change their thought. And they don't let other shit in. They don't let the bad thoughts in. They don't worry about that stuff. Right? They don't. And so that's how you do it. Why is my life not changing? It's probably because you are not moving. That's all I can tell you. You got to go move and do something. Whether it's the conversation, you got to do something uncomfortable. What the hell am I avoiding that I already know I should be doing? And also, if you bought a house in Fairport and there's a random red kayak somewhere on your property, can you call me, please? 585-206-8866. The thing is, spiritually, that kayak is mine. I'm going to envision myself going up to that door and having that conversation. It's what I've been avoiding. I'm Bill Moran. I appreciate you. Check us out on Substack. Search Billified on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcast.
Seems they were looking for a Cadillac with Tennessee plates.